We all know of individuals that earn our respect. It usually stems from a place where they ask of themselves from what they do of those around them. So have a listen to the yarn of why this is so important to understand. Isn't that right, my boy? Hey? Yeah. What's good, everyone? Just out here getting after it once again, you know what it is. And I hope all you guys out there are doing just the same, continuing on this journey to be able to create better individuals to give back to your dogs and your family units. Now, I just got back from doing my morning run, getting that cardio in, and I've been thinking to myself that we as men and women should be asking of ourselves from what we do of others first and foremost. Think about it. Think about the way this cultivates the relationships that we have within our own lives, for good and bad, within the relationships that we have with our significant others, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, within our peers and those around us, brothers, sisters, friends, co-workers, even when it comes down to our children and our dogs. And I'll go one step further. Even when it comes down to the standards that we set on the rest of society. Don't you think that it's important to ask of yourself from what you do of others? Because you know what? I understand that this message is going to be confronting for few. But we've all seen this in every way, shape and form, have we not? We've all seen those individuals that want to set those standards but refuse to set the standards for themselves. We've all seen those individuals that ask the world of others, but then yet refuse to ask even a fraction of this from themselves. And where do you think that leads? The discontent that so many people have for society. Where do you think that leads? The perception of all the rest of the relationships that we hold within our lives. When we refuse to ask of ourselves from what we do of others, it will only ever lead to a negative place. It will lead to discontent within the relationship. It will lead to distrust. It will lead to your word lacking the ability to bear the weight it needs to actually substantiate itself, to give your word substance, to give you as a man or a woman substance in who you are or what it is that you're about. This is why it's so important to first and foremost ask of yourself from what you do of others. You want to talk about mindset? Well, let's get your mindset right. You want to talk about health? Well, let's get your health right. You want to talk about discipline? Well, let's start looking at your daily habits and actions and what it is that you're actually consistent with. How do you hold yourself accountable? Because you know what? We must have awareness within these areas. We must have awareness within the way that we hold ourselves. We must hold ourselves to a code of ethics when it comes down to our own personal conduct. Because otherwise, who are you to ask of anything from the other side of the relationships that you uphold if you refuse to ask of yourself from what you do of others? Think about it and be honest with self. When it comes to parenting, how many children do we know or have we seen that allow their parents' advice, whether it be good or bad, fall on deaf ears? We've all seen this. And why do you think that is? I can guarantee you that it's because these parents refuse to ask of themselves from what they do of others. We've all heard it, we've all seen it. Don't do this, don't do that, that's bad, that's wrong, that's not healthy. But then yet, when you look at their own personal conduct and what it is that they actually participate in, They throw everything out the door. Every excuse is supposed to be accepted for why it's good for them but not for others, and then you wonder why. Their word bears no weight. You wonder why their own kids never take them seriously. You wonder why there's discontent and a lack of respect within that relationship. Think about it. The same thing goes for our dogs. How many unstable dogs are out there that are stuck to live prisoner with unstable humans, with unstable handlers? They all want a well-behaved, stable and balanced dog companion, but then you look at them and their own personal conduct. They're just as neurotic, if not worse, than what their animals are. Understand that clarity feeds clarity, that stability feeds stability, that structure and routine feed back into discipline and order. When your life is in chaos, you will only ever share further chaos. So to be able to get the ball rolling, where do you think it starts? You must ask of yourself from what you do of others first and foremost. These loving couples, relationships that we see within the world, yeah, it all starts off great, starts off well within the honeymoon phase, but then what ends up happening as time goes by? There's further discontent, further distrust within the relationship. And I understand that there are multitudes of contributing factors to why one thing turns into another. But I can guarantee you that within such relationships, whether that be with our significant other, whether that be with our brothers, sisters, peers, co-workers, friends, whatever, whether that be within what we cultivate with our children and our dogs, that there's one common denominator, and that is that these individuals are asking something from the other side of the relationship that they refuse to ask of self first, that they refuse to ask of themselves first and foremost. You must understand the importance to lead by example, to have the right to lead by example, that you first must live by example, that you must be a living example if you want to have the right to lead by example. This is what's going to give your word the ability to be able to substantiate itself, to bear the weight it needs to be respected and to be taken seriously. That you better start practicing what you preach. Otherwise, people are going to see that you're the individual that just sits there and only ever just talks about it. You're never actually about it. There's a big difference within the two. So understand the difference that this makes within the relationships that you cultivate within your own life. And it goes for all areas. So let's start applying ourselves to become better, to do better. Really break it down for self and be honest with self. Let that sink in. For the rest of the video, I'm just going to share with you some footage of Temper, getting some training in, a little bit of OB, some of his bite work, all the rest of it, and then some of my own weight sessions that I got in yesterday. God bless. Peace!